Yeah, no, mate. Same terms as normal. I'll yeah, 40% of all the sales. Yeah, so I'll just talk about whatever you've got overstocks of again on my channel and get your sales up. So what have you got too much of? Errol Lecale. I'll just write that down. Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. No, in fact, don't send me it as cash. Just send me another big box load of Barbara Cartland novels. Yeah, it's a lot better than all this horror nonsense that I talk about on my channel. Yeah, yeah. I love them. All right, mate. Yeah, I've got it here. Errol Locale. Yeah, I'll just find some. I'll just find some easy reference on Google. Yeah, video up later on today. Yeah, okay, mate. All right, love you, babe. Bye. Hello, Paul Pounds. So, my next video is going to be about Peter Saxon, and whilst putting that together, I decided that I thought I wanted to do a separate video about Errol Locale's Specialist series. Partly because I think they deserve a video on their own, and partly because I didn't want to muddy the waters of an already slightly confusing Peter Saxon video. Now, it's no secret that these books were written by Wilfred McNeely, who was in fact one of the people who was Peter Saxon. But these books stand out. They were published by New English Library in the 70s, and they seem to fit into that lovely pulp series mould that New English Library was obviously so fond of, with series like Robert Lorry's Dracula, Don Glut's Frankenstein, Michael Avallone's Satan Sleuth, and then obviously the Western series that went on for so many volumes. So if you haven't read them, let's give you a little bit of background without any spoilers. Try and not do any spoilers. So the Specialist is Eli Podgram. Not a particularly dynamic name for our dynamic hero, but there you go. At least it's distinctive. Now, like all great pulp heroes, Podgram has a sinister and mysterious past that's left him with burnt into his hair, like bleached into his hair. He's got a cross, which must be handy for fighting vampires, because you can just go like that and you go, oh, got a cross. He doesn't even need to do fingers. I don't know if fingers work. Candlesticks work for Peter Cushing, so fingers is just a bit smaller. It must work. Like all great pulp heroes, the Specialist has an entourage. So you've got Mara, who handles all the spiritual side of things. She's a young virgin witch with psychic and amazing occult powers. And then you've got Hugo, his gorilla-like, muscle-bound manservant who can't keep his hands to himself when the young ladies are around. Basically, it's like an over-the-top occult problem-solving group, like a mystical A-team. The novels are set during that beautiful, not sure whether it's Victorian or Edwardian period that Hammer used so well. And reading them, I kind of think that maybe McNeely watched a bunch of Hammer films and thought, actually, that's a pretty cool period, that undisclosed historical past. So the gang are all larger than life, and you can hire these guys, much like the A-Team, if you can find them, to help with your own occult, sinister, monster problems. And each book has its own take on a monster or kind of traditional horror threat. Much like the pulps that it obviously apes, I'm trying to be tactful here. It is literally entertainment. There's no moral message. There's no subtext that when you finish the novel you're going to be moved and affected. No, it's a romp. It's got blood, boobs, and monsters, and they're all short, and you can rattle through them. Just like the pulps, it's an ongoing series. So that was obviously a business model that New English Library employed to keep people reading a series, and it obviously worked very well. And I really love that period in fiction when there wasn't a lot of messages, that it wasn't trying to say something, it was just trying to entertain you. And a lot of my favourite films and books and comic books don't really try and say that much. They just want to entertain you for a bit, which I think is something that's proper nice as well, given how crazy 2020's been. It's so nice just to switch off and read something bonkers. And these books are quite bonkers as well. It's quite difficult to talk about them without giving any spoilers. I don't want to chuck any spoilers out there. They're literally just a fun romp. And if you've read any Peter Saxon, it's almost like a Hammer film in Peter Saxon style. Like a lot of the 70s Nell series is, unfortunately the specialist books seem to command medium high prices at the minute. And they're not super readily available, all of them. But I honestly think they're worth looking out for. I'd probably, simply because they are so, and I mean this in an affectionate way, simply because they are so kind of vacuous. It's just like an action movie in a book. I'd be inclined to maybe see if you could find an ebook or find them online, have a little look and make sure it's something you like. Because like all series, if you like it, there's always one, isn't there? Like when I was buying the Witches series by Lawrence James, yeah, I was getting them for a few quid. That's fine. I can do that. I can afford that. And then there's always one that you think, oh, I need to get that last one now. And it's 78 quid on all the book buying websites. But if you can track them down, don't expect too much from them. Just like all Peter Saxon books, they're not going to change your life. But have a cup of tea, have a quiet afternoon, and crack through them. And I found that I've been massively entertained by this series, and I've reread them whilst I've been researching this Peter Saxon video, and I'd kind of forgotten how much fun they are, how silly they are, and how much I genuinely love them. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the horrible, messy bitch fest that seems to be Who the Heck Was Peter Saxon. Stay safe.